Hey everyone, welcome back to Sheet Junkie. Today, I'm excited to share with you 5 essential tips and tricks for creating lists and tracking documents in Google Sheets. All of these skills will be transferable, so if you're not creating a list or a tracking document, that is totally fine. These skills are all super important to have in your back pocket. So let's get started. So as you can see, I've already added some information to the columns to get us started. And the first task that we're going to go over is AutoFill. And this is really important to create a sequence for tracking our listed items. So as you can see, I'm putting 1 and 2. And then what I want to do is highlight that box, press the blue circle at the bottom and drag it down. And that will fill in all the numbers. And we can do to whatever number you like, however long you want your list. And this also works for other patterns such as time. So if I was to start out at 9 o'clock and I wanted it in 15-minute intervals, I would say 9 o'clock. Then I would write in 9:15 and then do the same thing. What I would do is I would highlight it, press the blue box or blue circle and drag down. Oops, drag down. Perfect. So as you can see, they're 15-minute intervals. They all have the AM. I'm going to try to get it down to the PM so you can see. There we go. So as you can see, it goes through the entire 24-hour clock and whatever time interval you select. You can also do months of the year, starting with January, then February, highlighting those two, pressing the blue circle and dragging down. So as you can see, the autofill really helps just kind of fill up space, helps you with complete your patterns in a more timely way. So before we go to the numbers and the costs, I'm just going to paste in some items here for the list. We're going to be making a shopping list for my soccer team. So as you can see, I have all the items there, and then we can move over to the cost column. So this is where we're going to be putting in all of our costs for each item. Now, as you see, I'm going to do 40.00 for $40, and it automatically adjusts to 40. That's because it's not in the dollars format yet. So as you can see, again, it's going to be 15, it's going to go ... So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in the numbers in there. So $15, that's cleats, might be like 60, water bottle, maybe like 10, right? So after we have all those numbers here, what we want to do is we want to highlight all the numbers that we have, including the space that we haven't filled in yet, right? So that list number 7. And up top you have format and currency. So you want to press that, and that will automatically update those columns to be in the dollar format. So the next column is our completion column. And this one is probably the most satisfying to myself because this is where we get to check off our tasks. But right now we're going to do a data validation trick. So right here, we're going to add a drop-down menu. So you highlight the columns you need, you go to your data validation, and you add a rule. So here you'll be able to add, you make sure that you're in the right plane. So E4 to E10. So we have E4 to E10 right here. Perfect. And so here we want to add what we want in the drop-down menu. So for this one, I'm going to write complete. And for the second one, I'm going to write incomplete, right? And so we can also change the colors. So for the complete, we want a dark blue, and then incomplete light blue. So then that way we'll be able to just visually look at it and be able to see which tasks are completed and which aren't. So as you X out of there, you can X out once the rule is solidified, and you can go into your column. So I'm going to just stretch it out a little bit, and there are your incompletes. So you can also press that little pencil on the bottom right, and it will allow you to add items or take them away. So we're just going to delete this one real quick right here, and then go back to our menu. So later on in the video, I'm going to go over another way to have a completion column as well. So stay tuned for that. So another really important skill to have when creating these lists or any documents is hyperlinking. So I found a pair of sneakers on Amazon that I want to buy for soccer. I'm going to copy the link up top in the URL bar. I'm going to copy it using Command C, and I'm going to go to the sneakers here in the item list, and I'm going to press Command K, which will bring the link, Command V, where I paste the link and enter. And so once you do that, it's really quick. You'll be able to have the link directly to the item that you wish to buy. So this is one of my favorite things. It helps cut corners really easily, and it helps direct people exactly to the website that you're trying to go. Now that we have all of the information in our table, our last step is running a total sum. So running equations can be daunting in Google Sheets, but it's really not that bad. So all you need to do is open up in the empty cell at the bottom of the column and write equals sum. And then that way it's going to give you a parentheses. What you want to do is select only the numbers that you want to include, including that blank space, right? Close the parentheses and enter. So that way, if we add an item for number 7 and add a price, say $3, it'll add it to the 148, right? So then you'll have a running total. What you can also do, if you don't need the total right away, you can highlight it here, and then the total will always appear in your bottom right corner. So that's a helpful hint to know as well. So the next steps are basically just formatting, right? And it's making this document more readable and legible for folks that didn't create it. You want people to just be able to look at it and know what it is. So what I do is I always center numbers. So I'll go into the costs and the numbers and I'll center those just to kind of set them apart a little bit. Our next step, we're just going to create a title for our graph. So you can see I'm dragging my cursor along the top 4 columns, and I'm going to press this button up on top, which is the merge cell. This creates one large cell. So I like creating these for the titles. It just kind of makes it a cohesive table. Everything under the title is a part of the table. So I feel like that is helpful for folks reading it. I'll center the title a little bit, make it clear that this is my soccer shopping list. So now that we have all of our information in their table, we have our title and we have the general space of which this table is going to take up, we can get rid of all of these columns, right? So all of this space where the table isn't taking up, we can delete that. And so what you have to do is you have to select the column that you wish to delete from, and you press Shift, Control, Command, and then whichever arrow. So I did Shift, Command, Control, right arrow, and it selected all the columns to the right. You select delete G through Z and it will delete all the columns. So we can do the same thing here, Shift, Control, Command, and then down arrow. And then that way it will get all of the columns that or rows that we're not using, excuse me, and we'll be able to delete them from there. And so then that way we just have this nice little plane of where our table is. There's nothing distracting us, and we can just keep our full attention and focus to this table. So right now I'm just going to be doing a little formatting to make this table more pleasurable to the eyes. If you have any questions, please comment them and I'll be able to respond them. I can make videos on anything that I'm doing here. So as you can see, I'm just doing some formatting. I'm creating a border around the table. I like to keep it in the same color scheme, so I'm going to keep it with the nice blues. As you can see, when you select the title, it's going to select all of those cells, and I'm going to make that a little bit of a darker blue, make it pop. And the subtopics or the categories, I'm going to just make a little lighter. So then that way it can make a differentiation. I'm going to add a total color here. I'm going to fill it in with the same color as the subtitles. And it just kind of makes it flow. It makes the table a little bit easier to look at, and it just has all the information that's important pop out, which I think is very helpful. So now we've completed our list, and I wanted to take a second and show you another list that I created. Earlier in the video, we talked about 2 different ways to kind of show that your tasks are complete. And right here, I have both the drop-down menu or this checkbox column. You see that? So when tasks are completed or not, you can press the checkbox and it will fill in. So we're going to go back to our demo board, and I'm just going to delete what's in column E. So if you select everywhere where you have the drop-down menu and press the delete button twice, so delete once will delete all the words inside, and then deleting twice will delete the actual data validation. And so for the checkboxes, all you need to do is highlight the plane that you want your checkboxes in. You press insert and then press checkbox, and it'll automatically put them in there. I personally, once again, with formatting, like to change the colors and make sure they match and just making sure everything is visually pleasing. So I'm gonna go to the fonts and I change it there. So now it's blue. So now you have a couple of different ways of making a checklist. You can see that you check in the boxes and it'll show that they're complete. So just to go back to the completed demo so you can see side by side. Also, this document is available in the link below for free if you would like some practice. Don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to our channel for more easy to follow tutorials, handy templates, and answers to your spreadsheet questions. Thank you again for joining Sheet Junkie. We look forward to seeing you soon.